Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top story today from Mediaite, she should be ashamed of herself. Karoline Leavitt unleashes on CNN reporter Trump wants network to fire. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt laid into CNN national security correspondent Natasha Bertrand on Thursday, one day after President Donald Trump demanded the reporter be thrown out like a dog over her reporting on the U.S. strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities. Trump took aim at Bertrand over her reporting on a leaked intelligence assessment that concluded strikes against the Iranian sites likely only set their nuclear program back by months rather than years, as the president and other officials claimed. Trump has called the report fake news and lashed out at the New York Times and others for reporting on the assessment. So here we go. You guys have probably heard a little bit about it, but let's see what Karoline had to say.
Leaked bits and pieces of an intel assessment to push a false narrative. And it's to the same reporter, I will add, Natasha Bertrand of CNN, who has done this in the past. In 2020, it was Natasha Bertrand who had 51 intelligence analysts falsely lie to her, but she still put it on paper for some reason, that the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation. We all know that's not true, right? We can all agree on that now. That was a lie from the intelligence community. Also in 2020, this same reporter, Natasha Bertrand, wrote that a top intel agency ruled out the man-made lab leak theory of the coronavirus origins. Again, the president was right about that. This reporter wrote a lie from the intelligence community to seek a narrative she wanted to prove, and guess what? We now know that's the truth. Also, in 2024, Bertrand pushed the suckers and losers hoax. She also pushed the fine people hoax, which was taking the president's words purposely out of context. And then last October, and I believe this is notable, Natasha Bertrand published an article in Politico from the intelligence agency. She said that John Ratcliffe was speaking without any evidence when he said Iran was attempting to undermine President Trump's presidential campaign. And then we, of course, found out that was absolutely true. In fact, the Biden administration declassed an intel report which said they had high confidence that Iran had done exactly what Ratcliffe alleged. They did run an influence campaign to hurt President Trump's candidacy. In fact, we know the Iranians tried to take President Trump's life. And so this is a reporter who has been unfortunately used by people who dislike Donald Trump in this government to push fake and false narratives. She should be ashamed of herself. And that's not what reporting is. Journalism is trying to find the facts and the truth.
All right, of course, and then she goes on to kind of, explain and outline, the elements to journalism. But as we see here, ladies and gentlemen, this is no mystery for anyone here who's been on the BuzWeaver channel. So make sure you hit that like button, because you guys already know that the establishment uniparty had coordinated all of this. And this is why we always say that they hijacked our culture, our institutions, and our justice system. Not only that, but of course, media and the medical community, all of these have been impacted by what the establishment has done. And individuals like Natasha, who went out there and just basically carried the line and the water for the establishment with complete and total immunity and impunity. In other words, they were never held accountable for any of it, because if you spoke out against any of it, you were shut down. Remember when that story broke about the Hunter Biden laptop? It was the New York Post that was shut down on Twitter. They completely suspended the New York Post for, I don't know, I don't know how long it was, but they suspended them for a certain period of time, not to mention the fact that Donald Trump was also banned from social media. So these people had coordinated all of this for quite some time. And Natasha, obviously, as Karoline outlined, has a bevy of different things that she has done, just a series of different articles and attacks against Donald Trump that she's done. Is absolutely extraordinary. And of course, here we have from Newsweek, White House wants Iran leaker jailed. So whoever leaked the information to her also is going to be pursued, as we understand it. The White House has said a source who leaked intelligence suggested that U.S. military strikes on Iran's nuclear sites were not effective should be jailed. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt, as we said here, said the FBI was examining who was behind the leak published by CNN and the New York Times, which cast doubt on the Trump administration's statement that Saturday's strike had obliterated Iran's nuclear program. It's absolutely... And see, this is what they got away with for so many years. Let's see what Trump had to say.
The Atomic Energy Commission of Israel, and I just wanted, this is an official letter, and they're very serious people, as you know. The devastating U.S. strike on Fordo destroyed the site's critical infrastructure and rendered the enrichment facility totally inoperable. It was devastated. We assess that the American strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities has set back Iran's ability to develop nuclear weapons for many years to come. This achievement can continue indefinitely if Iran does not get access to nuclear material, which it won't. It's so sad that that whole thing had to go.
And of course, he just continues to go on about what had actually happened, and he expresses his opinion on the matter. And this is just the strategy that that has been used against Trump for years, right? Belittle, undermine, suggest that he was ineffective, that attack his leadership, his credibility. All these sorts of things are just a continuing barrage of what the left does and what the establishment does. But they don't have the same teeth that they used to have. They don't have the same ability that they used to have. And this is what annoys them. So they can get people like CNN reporters or others to be able to do these sorts of things. And now I just wanted to play a little bit from from MSNBC. It's a little garbled. They always start out this way. It's just the weird way they do the websites now across most of social media. But we're going to listen to a little bit of this. Now, keep in mind here, now it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek too, but just to give you an idea of what another agency has been saying in regards to a lot of things that Donald Trump does.
Joining us now, president and founder of Eurasia Group and G0 Media, Ian Bremmer. Ian, welcome. Glad you're here because, interestingly, this is the first time we're hearing from Iran's leader. He's trying to convey authority. He did appear kind of weak, a little bit hoarse. Give us a sense of what he's trying to accomplish. What's his message here?
Well, of course, I want to congratulate him on his extraordinary victory for the Islamic Republic. And no, I'm not being serious, but that is the message that he is trying to convey. The Iranian people get state media, and the internet has been shut down. And unlike when Trump assassinated Qasem Soleimani first time around in his first administration, it's very hard to obscure when a hero of the Iranian people has been killed. Here, you have the Americans creating a lot of damage with major classified facilities, and the Iranian people have no visibility on that. So, of course, what Iran's leaders want to do is say, they did no damage, we destroyed this major American base, we're victorious, they're lucky, the Israelis are lucky, it's only because of our restraint that there still is, sort of a Zionist Israel that even exists. I mean, that's the propaganda.
Exactly. And it is propaganda, and it is messaging, and it is very similar to what even our own media does. And, of course, here we have much more transparency, especially with the Trump administration. I mean, it's a very transparent administration. But you guys already know this because you're astute and you're shrewd, and you already know that for the last 4 years, the establishment party covered for Joe Biden. The man was suffering from cognitive decline. And then, of course, we've learned now, of course, that he has prostate cancer, advanced prostate cancer that would have had to have transpired, or he would have had to have been going through for at least 10 years, which some of the expert medical community members have said. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is interesting. And you guys let me know down in the comments section, do you think that the Trump administration should, and I hope they do, pursue this diligently and find out what happened, who was leaking, because this was supposed to be based upon anonymous sources, as you guys know how we think about anonymous sources or people close to this and close to that without naming the individuals. And this is the way the media tries to operate, because they do, although have First Amendment rights, freedom of the press and so forth. But we're one of the few countries where the press is not held accountable for what they say. But then again, it does allow them flexibilities to, as they always like to say, take on those people in positions of power, right? And but in this particular situation, we've known this for quite some time. For all of you here on the BuzWeaver channel, you guys already know how the media operates to make Donald Trump look bad at any opportunity that they get. But nonetheless, guys, I want to thank all of you across New Tech, BitChute, and Rumble for your guys' continued support, and everyone here on YouTube. What an amazing 2025 so far. We still got many more years of Donald Trump to go, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you hit that like button, and of course, subscribe to the channel. As you see there now appearing on the screen, that'd be the channel icon for everyone watching on YouTube specifically. You guys can click on that to subscribe as well to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.